today's Toy Spot, we are having a look at the Playmates toys, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mondo, Gecko. Recommended for ages 4 and up. This comes to us from the folks over at Playmates, or you will also see down below, Spin Master Toys. Spin Master just does the distribution here in Canada, so a lot of times if you see reviews that I'm doing, you might see the Spin Master there down below as opposed to Playmates. Warning, choking hazard, small parts not for children under 3 years of age. Mondo Gecko comes with a skateboard. Very cool. Spin around the back. A generalized read-up, though not specific to the character, says training under their sensei Splinter, these turtle teens build their skills in Jiu-Jitsu and become the lean green fighting team known as the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. With some awesome allies, the Turtles prepare for their next battle against their mighty adversaries, Shredder and the Krang. Down below you can collect them all, both heroes and villains alike. Some of the villains some of the characters I have not been able to find yet are Attila the Frog, or at least at the time that you're seeing this video, Dark Beaver, and I think Muckman, but pretty much everything else has been able to reach here, at least in Canada retail stores, so that's good. Spot's going to take a break and get this opened up. When we come back, though, we're going to get a better look at Mondo Gecko. Don't go anywhere, guys. Stay tuned. Let's first have a look at the skateboard. Oh, there he goes. Let's first have a look at the skateboard that comes with Mondo Gecko. Just basically a red plastic skateboard. At least I can say that he does have free rolling wheels. So if you want to take Mondo Gecko, he does have peg holes on the undersides of his feet. Peg him on at least one end of the skateboard. And you can display him on the board itself. There is one issue with, sadly, this particular figure, and maybe you might see it right off the bat. If not, we'll touch base on it in a second. But it does roll. That's one good thing about it. You can also take the skateboard and put it into his hand. Although it's a snugger fit, it is a tighter fit in his hand, but it does allow him to hold it. And let's get the skateboard out of his hand, put it just to the side. As a whole, the figure looks really good. It's a little bit of a departure than the original Mondo Gecko that we got before, or at least growing up. The coloring on him is very nice. He almost looks a little more snake-like, just due to the nature of him being yellow with more of the spots. The eyes are very interesting too, as they aren't quite pupils. They're more like little squiggly lines. The coloring on him, costume-wise, or what he's wearing, is basically just black. There's nothing breaking it up at all. The pants basically are a little bit darker, but that's only really due to the material that they used versus the shirt that he's wearing. The sleeves do match the pant legs, and really the only area that doesn't quite gel is the middle of the t-shirt. I like the figure. Sadly, one of the biggest issues with the figure, it's not across the board, but one thing I kind of scratch my head with when it comes to Playmates, I don't know why they opt to ruin a really great figure, and I don't say ruin, I don't mean it in a negative way, but I don't know why they take a figure that can be so promising and they do something weird to their feet, or they do something weird to their legs, like Krang, for example. Mondo Gecko is a great figure, but he does struggle to stand, and one of the culprits is look at his legs. One leg, let's see if I can just adjust this properly, one leg jets out this way, while the other leg is straight. But then this leg, neither foot actually are flat. This one foot is on an angle, and it doesn't sit flat against the floor, or wherever you're displaying him. His foot is always kind of sticking out to the side. And I guess you could theoretically debate that, well, if you put him on his skateboard, the leg perhaps is posed in a way that it looks like he's propelling himself on this skateboard. I get that, but I wish that the default could have been that his feet could have been flat, because getting him to stand sometimes can be an issue. And you would think that the tail could factor in helping it, but the tail's not long enough to touch the bottom, so it doesn't help even giving him much in the way of stability. You can get him to stand, but getting him to stay standing can always be an issue. The arms are also something similar to Napoleon Bonafrog. The arms are hinged, as well as the legs. They're hinged, allowing you a fair bit of rotation. Like the legs can rotate all the way around. They hinge forward and hinge sideways. Same with really with the arms. But there's no cut, there's no swivel point on the forearms, and there's no swivel point on the legs. Although it does look like, looking at it, it does look like the lower leg should rotate, but it doesn't. It's just the way it was sculpted. It's just because the short pant leg of the shorts stops, and then you've got the knee pad here, that it does give you the look. It does kind of look like it should swivel, but it doesn't. It's just one sculpted leg. So I wish that the arms could have rotated, like right there, they could have put a swivel where the forearm could have rotated. It's not as problematic as, let's reach off camera, to Napoleon that we've already had a look at. His arms, I wish, could have had something that you could have rotated here, as opposed to relying so heavily on the shoulder hinge to do all the arm movement. Mondo Gecko, on the other hand, at least does have bent arms, and they are bent forward, that at least it looks more practical. But again, I wish there was more of a swivel point there on the forearms. Speaking of posability, Mondo Gecko does have a rotation in the head. It rotates all the way around. I like his cap too, which also, if you are wondering, the cap is something you can rotate. You could rotate it technically all the way around if you wanted to, depending on the look that you wanted for him. And I guess you could theoretically take the cap off, but I don't know if you can see it underneath. He's got a big old peg where the head connects to the hat. So if you took the hat off, you'd have one big yellow peg sticking up, and that's not good. The arms rotate all the way around, as mentioned, and they hinge out. As well as the legs, they hinge out. So posability, he does have it. I just wish that his feet were a little more on the flatter side. And then finally, his tail does rotate around as well. I like the design of the character as an updated take to Mondo Gecko. Paint's quite nice, although truthfully, he's more black than anything else. He's got a little bit of the yellow, of course, at the top there. He's a good figure. Again, I just wish that his feet were flat. At least so that you could stand him properly and you don't have to keep adjusting him so he doesn't topple over. Today's Toy Spot, we were having a look at the Playmates Toys Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mondo Gecko. Stay tuned, guys. Spot's going to have more Toy Spots heading your way. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.